to install the gas tank, and I went ahead and put these foam strips on the frame underneath here where the tank will sit against, as well as putting some of this foam tape on the tank straps, and hopefully that'll reduce the amount of vibration or noise coming from the tank when the electric fuel pump's operating. So I'll get that tank fitted in here and see how snug it is. Just got done installing the gas tank. Ended up having to buy some longer bolts. The factory ones just wouldn't reach. I guess part of that is you know, new tank, and the fact that I used some weather stripping on both sides of it, so it took up some of the space in between the frame and the strap. So the factory ones were about ½ inch too short, so ran up to the local hardware store and picked up some of these metric bolts, M10, 1.5 by 60 millimeters long, and had to push on it to get it started, but they ended up being just about the right length. I wish they had a little more thread on them, but they work. The tank is nice and snug, so that might be an obstacle with a new tank install on these G-bodies. Just connected the supply line, and I'm using the existing hard line, 3/8 hard line on the El Camino here, and so I've got some high pressure clamps to use over here to cinch it up on this barb on the hard line, so I'm pretty sure that'll hold 60 psi no problem. And obviously I'm using the high pressure fuel injected fuel hose here. On this side I did one of those crimp fittings on this push lock, and then I did I don't know if you can see that, a union, a male adapter on both sides, and connected it that way. If I ever needed to drop the tank, I could easily get to it in this open area here, instead of having to reach way back in there and partially drop the tank to get to the connections on the sending unit. So now I'm in the midst of running some new hard line for the return, which is right here. And I'm going to try to follow the existing 3/8 supply line, which wraps around up in here and then comes through the frame rail and comes out over here. So I'm going to try to mount it right below on the inside of the frame rail and have it come outside the engine bay and get that all cinched up. Just installed this inline filter that I got from Speedway, and it has these fittings that converted over to the I guess the push lock factory fittings to -6. And so I cut the original hard line and flared it to 37 degrees and put these barrel nuts and the shoulder sleeve, or whatever you want to call it, on the inside. So I've got all that figured out, and I'm going to go ahead and use the same mounting holes for the hard line as before, which should hold this in place. But I'm also going to probably put some like sound deadener or something on it just to protect it from rubbing against the frame, but it's pretty rigid against there, so I'm not worried about it going too far. And then after that I've got to route my return line either above this or below it. Okay, I just got done making this 37-degree flare, and I have this sleeve on here and this barrel nut that makes a nice dash 6 connection. Use this flaring tool I got from Speedway. I think it cost me about 60 bucks. It's a real nice quality set. It's got some type of plating on it, and it grabs this aluminum hardline real good to make an easy flare, so definitely recommend that. And what I've done here is I've got half the hardline that I'm running for the return that'll go along the frame rail, and then the other half I'm going to do from this point forward into the engine bay, and then I'll be able to connect my lines that I've already made underneath the hood for the throttle body. So what I'm doing here is making another 37-degree flare end at a junction I made halfway down the frame rail, so it was easier to fish the hard line up to the engine bay and also back to the gas tank. And I've got the side already done, and this is going to be a little bit tight in here. So what I like to do is have it protrude just a little bit to give it more of a flare surface. And then I'll snug all this down. Doesn't need to be super tight because it bites into that aluminum really good. Now the trick is going to be getting this flare clamp on there. Not a lot of room to work. Just now starting to get snug on there. And I did put a little grease on the nose of that flaring bit, just so it turn a little bit easier. Okay, that's pretty snug. Back that off a little bit. Let's see if I can get this thing loosened. And there we got a nice little flare. And then pull that forward. And then I've got to see if I can get this to push my line back a little bit into the frame rail. And then get that centered on there. Looks like a pretty good fit. just snug it up with a wrench, and then got these brackets to hold everything to the frame rail. But that'll be a nice union right there. So if I ever needed to replace either side of it, it'd make it a lot easier. Here's the fuel filter that I hooked up, and I did use the existing 3/8 supply line, and then I made that aluminum line fit as best I could. Okay, making a fitting utilizing my existing hard line for the fuel supply along the frame rail. So I'm making a short piece that I'm going to do a permanent clamp on here, and then a temporary, conventional clamp here that goes around the nipple on the hard line coming up the frame rail. So I figured these are, I guess, are rated to hold enough pressure without a clamp, but I'm just doing this for added security. So this kind of works the same way as the clamps that go around the CV shaft boots and stuff like that. So I'm going to center it on there, give it a good squeeze. Now it's good and snug on there. And then I'll use, like I said, a conventional clamp on this side on the hard line that's existing. Okay, there's the hard line coming up through the frame, and it's got a nipple on it already. So I'm going to work this fitting that I just made up onto that nipple, and I've got a conventional clamp on it, so once I get it on there I can snug it up, and I believe these are EFI rated clamps, so should be good there. Okay, so I've got the regular clamp snugged up on there real good, and then I've got that permanent clamp around where the elbow is, the elbow fitting. So I'm going to run a line, a braided line, up to the valve cover area and across the intake manifold to supply the Sniper throttle body, and then I'm also going to do one similar to this for the return line. Okay, here's the final routing for the return line and supply line. You can see where I've made the 90-degree fittings down there, coming up behind the brackets here and along the valve covers to the fuel filter on the supply line, and then of course the return line here. The return line is the high pressure rubber line, and the supply line is the braided. I may upgrade the return line later with some braided, but for now I think that'll work. And I've got these hose separators that keep it all nice and tidy. In part 2 of my Holley Sniper install video, I mentioned the difference in the filler necks from the original GM tank to the fuel injection tank that I got from OPGI, and I didn't think there was going to be any major issues with it. When I did get it installed, the filler neck was pretty high up in here. In fact, it was hitting against the frame, and it was giving me some difficulty when I was mounting the tank straps. So I got it snugged up in there best I could with the tank straps, and then I ended up getting a piece of conduit and put it in here as like a pry bar, and I used it to bend it down a little bit so I could actually get the fuel cap on there without much trouble. But it is a little bit higher than the factory one. as you can see here. But fuel cap goes down without too much trouble. And it is, like I said, a little bit higher than the factory, but it does work. But that was one of the challenges I came across installing the tank.